My name is Amy Snider. I'm 27 years old, and for as long as I can remember, it's just been the three of us, my mom, my dad, and me. We lived like a trio, a small family in a quiet house. But if I'm being honest, the real connection was always between me and my father. My dad was my hero growing up. He ran his own business and worked really hard every single day. Even though he was busy and often not home, he always made time for me. When he had a day off, he spent it with me, no distractions, no excuses. He'd take me out for walks, ice cream, even late-night snacks when I had trouble sleeping. I looked forward to those rare moments. They were everything to me. He was not just my father, he was my guide, my support, my closest friend. My mom, on the other hand, was different. She never worked. She stayed home, took care of the house, and went out to socialize with her friends. I don't remember her ever being involved in my dad's business or in my school life. She never helped with homework or came to my school plays. She was always dressed up, going to events, chatting on the phone, or talking about her friends. To others, it probably looked like we were a picture-perfect family, but inside our house, I often felt like she didn't see me. There were many times I felt alone, especially when I was younger. My dad noticed. He knew my mom was distant, and he made up for it. He'd bring me little gifts, leave encouraging notes in my lunchbox, or simply sit beside me when I needed someone. He knew how to make me feel loved, even in silence. As I got older, I began to understand things more clearly. My mom didn't just forget small things, she often made promises she never kept. "I'll come to your recital," she'd say, but she never showed up. "We'll have a girls' day this weekend," she'd promise, but then she'd cancel. Eventually, I stopped believing her words. My dad, though, his word was gold. If he promised, he delivered, always. I admired him so much that I decided I wanted to follow in his footsteps. I wanted to join his company after college. Being an only child, I felt a deep responsibility to carry on what he had built with so much effort. When I was in my second year of college, I told them at dinner, "Dad, I want to work at your company after I graduate." I said, "I'm studying hard, and I want to be like you someday." Before my dad could say anything, my mom spoke up. "Amy,
Are you sure?
a girl doesn't need to do all that," she said, almost dismissively. "Why not?" I asked, confused. "I want to work hard. I want to build something. A woman should find a good man and let him take care of her. You don't need to chase after a career," she said flatly. I was crushed, but I didn't argue. I knew in my heart that I didn't want the kind of life my mom had. I didn't want to depend on anyone. I wanted to be independent. So I buried myself in my studies, and the moment I graduated, I joined my father's company. At first, my mom protested. She rolled her eyes, made comments, and warned me that I'd regret not listening to her. But eventually, she gave up and just said, "If that's what you want, fine, just don't come running to me when it all goes wrong." I didn't listen. Instead, I poured my heart into learning the business. My dad trained me personally. We had long days, late nights, and hours of discussions. I didn't know it at the time, but he was rushing to prepare me for something serious, something he hadn't told me yet. 6 months after I joined, my father collapsed at work. He was rushed to the hospital, and that's when we found out he was seriously ill. From then on, he was in and out of the hospital, battling the illness for 5 long years. During those years, he still made occasional visits to the company, though it was hard on him. One day, while we sat by his hospital bed, he looked at me and said, "Amy, this company, these people, they're my life. But now, it's your turn. I've seen how hard you've worked. I trust you, take care of them." "I'm not sure I can be like you," I whispered. "You don't need to be me," he said gently, "just be you, and lead with heart." So that's what I did. I stepped up. I worked day and night, ran meetings, handled problems, and tried to hold everything together. I barely went home anymore, but I always visited him. I brought him meals, company updates, and sometimes just sat with him in silence. My mom, meanwhile, rarely visited. She'd drop off a change of clothes or send a message through the nurses. I tried to understand her, but part of me couldn't. Didn't she love him? Didn't she care? I couldn't shake the sadness in my heart, not just for myself, but for him. He gave everything to this family, and she gave so little in return. After a year of this routine, he passed away quietly in his sleep. I didn't have time to cry. My mother expected me to handle everything: the funeral, the hospital bills, the paperwork, And I did. She didn't know how to do any of it. She had lived in a bubble all her life. I handled everything, alone. The day after the funeral, she came to me. "Well, now that everything's done, you're free, right?" she asked casually. "What do you mean?" I said, still exhausted. "I want you to move out. Your father left me 200 million yen, so I don't need you anymore. Thank you for your help." Her words hit like a slap, but I wasn't surprised. I had seen it coming. She didn't know the truth, though. My father had left all the money to me. He didn't trust her with it. He told me clearly, "Your mother doesn't understand money. Don't give her a lump sum, just provide for her monthly. If she complains, ignore it." He even left a video message on an SD card, just in case. I didn't say anything to her that day. I simply packed my things, sold anything I no longer needed, and left. A few days later, she called me. "Come home immediately," she said. "I'm working," I replied. "What's wrong?" "I just need to talk to you. Please come quickly." With a deep sigh, I got up from my desk and began heading home. I returned to our family home, gripping a small SD card tightly in my hand. As soon as my mother saw me walk through the door, her face hardened and she lashed out with harsh words. "You took all of your father's inheritance, didn't you?" she snapped. "I knew something was off the moment you left so suddenly. Hand it over, all of it. You're so selfish. You can't even act like a proper mother." I didn't respond right away. Instead, I slowly held out the SD card. She looked at it, confused. "What's this?" I sighed. "You probably don't even know how to watch it," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. I pulled out my laptop, slid in the SD card, and clicked on the file. The screen lit up with the image of my father, alive and full of life, just the way I remembered him. I looked at my mother, wondering what she would feel when she saw this. I quietly stepped out of the room, letting her watch it alone. I had never seen her go against my father, not once, but now that he was gone, would his final words still have power over her? When I came back, she was crying, actual tears. That sight alone surprised me. My mother wasn't someone I thought could be moved like that, not even by a video of her late husband. "Mom, are you okay?" I asked gently. "I'm fine," she said, wiping her eyes. "I understand now. I'll follow your father's wishes. From now on, I'll leave everything in your hands. Just, go home for today. Call me later when you've had time to think." Her voice was soft, like a different person. Sensing she needed space, I quietly left. On my way home, I couldn't stop thinking, what had Dad said that made her cry? What was in that video? A whole month passed, and I didn't hear from her at all. I started to worry. During my lunch break, I stopped by the house, but she wasn't there. I came back again after work. This time, the lights were on. "I'm sorry for dropping by unannounced," I said. "I came earlier, but you weren't home. I got worried." She nodded. "Sorry, I was out working my part-time job." I blinked. A part-time job? That didn't sound like the mother I knew. She had always been against working. "Didn't you watch the video?" I asked, still trying to wrap my head around her sudden change. "It was for you. You can take it," she said. "If you want to watch it, go ahead." I took the SD card and brought it to the study. Sitting at my father's old desk, I played the video. My father's voice filled the room. "Honey, if you're watching this, I probably haven't been able to speak with Amy. First of all, thank you for raising Amy with me. I couldn't have managed both the company and her without you." I listened closely. His voice was warm, filled with emotion. "You cared for Amy even though she's not your child. I'll always be grateful. You gave up your dreams. You never got the chance to live independently. That's my fault. I let you live a life of comfort, but I also trapped you. I didn't marry you because you felt bad for your sister, and I regret that. I know you'll be in a tough spot after I'm gone, and I'm sorry." My heart froze. "I'm not my mother's child," I whispered, stunned. So that was it. That explained everything. The distance, the coldness. She had never been cruel, but there was always something missing, and now I knew why. The next day, I confronted her. "Mom, I watched the video from Dad. So, you knew." She looked tired. "I raised you because he asked me to, that's all. What happened to my real mother?" "She was my sister," she said, her voice shaking. "She died giving birth to you. Your father was devastated. I promised him I'd raise you as my own." I remembered something then. My mother working at a small diner when I was a child, full of energy and laughter. She used to dream of owning her own diner someday, but she gave that up to raise me. Now, after watching my father's video, something inside her had changed. She had decided to chase that old dream again. She took a part-time job and began training in a local kitchen. I should have done this sooner, she told me. Working makes me feel alive. I didn't realize how much I'd missed it. I'm sorry I never gave you more. I didn't know anything. It's not your fault, I said. You tried your best. You took care of me even when I wasn't really yours. That means something. For the first time in our lives, we were talking, really talking. We spoke more often after that. Then, one day, we made a decision together. We would use part of my father's inheritance to open her diner. She was hesitant, not wanting to rely on me, but eventually, she agreed. I kept my full-time job but helped with the preparations. We spent a lot of time together, more than ever before. She handled her living expenses herself and only accepted help with the business. Promise me you'll ask for help if you ever need it, I said. I'll be fine, but, for the diner, I might need a little backup, she admitted. Of course, I'll be right here. The diner was set to open the next day. My mother had a glow I hadn't seen in years. Watching you work so hard made me remember the dreams I once had, she said. I think that's why I came this far. It's thanks to you, and to your father. Thank you, Mom, I said, truly meaning it. Please, always think of me as your mother, Amy, she said. Let's build something new together, I replied. It's just us now, let's make the most of it. After my father's passing, the truth had come out, and despite all the twists and turns, I accepted it. I even began thinking about moving back to live with her. I don't cook, so she's worried about my eating habits, I said with a smile. I think my father would be happy to see how close we've become. I promised to protect everything he left behind, his home, his business, his legacy. Eventually, we visited both of their graves, my father's and my biological mother's. We told them about our days, our hopes, our plans, and in time, I legally became her daughter. We weren't bound by blood, but we were finally a real family, and that was enough.